What up, y'all? Back again. Here's some more beautiful photos from way back when. It's just real interesting. A lot of these photos that you'll see, if they're early enough, you'll find there's very, very few people, and especially in places where you would think there would be more individuals. Almost as if they're the first ones back into a reality where there was a place where everybody had disappeared. And it wasn't too long ago, just a couple hundred years ago, because cameras only came out in, according to our narrative, about the 1830 range. And if you look at these early photos, you'll see either no people or like we're digging out the pyramids because we didn't find the pyramids before the 1800s, or we were digging them out then. It seems kind of crazy, right? Like there was some sort of reset, and there's just this beautiful ornate structure, some in the middle of nowhere, it seems, with no infrastructure. Might be this palace on top of a hill with nothing but mud around it. And you could say, well, maybe it was new construction, but it already looks like it's ancient, and it looks like that it just has made it through a catastrophe that nobody's speaking of, which is really fascinating. And then not only just the ornateness, but the ability to build some of these structures that are in the middle of nowhere, that have these dates that are similar to the timeline that the camera has come out. So if you have a bunch of photos from, say, the 1850s, and these structures are said to have built in and around that same era, but there's a lot of times no construction photos. Or you'll find these places where you'll see these large populations of people in a weird way, just crammed all together in these photos. And that's kind of odd too, or a bunch of little children all together with a few adults, or it just seems as if things are all mudded out. There's not a lot of people most of the time in these early photos. The skies look like they've been whited out, or yellow sky. A lot of people say because they're hiding stuff in the background, like they've been doctored up. Now, a lot of these photos have been doctored up. And that's interesting too, that they had the ability, these founders, to manipulate photos and pictures like they photoshopped them way back when, which shouldn't have been available, that kind of technology. But you can obviously find some of the cuts and splices in it where maybe pieces of the building structure are somewhat missing because it was cut out, tried to be made obsolete, but you kind of can catch some of the details of how they had cut and spliced some of these because they did a sloppy job. But you have to be really into viewing these photos. It just seems, though, that these structures are much older than the age they've given us. It seems as if there should have been more people in a lot of these empty cities and places that should be highly populated even then for the infrastructure that has been built out. Say it's built out for a city for millions of people, and you see like 5 or 10 people in the photo or something in the middle of the day, or none at all for that matter. these structures seem to be going into the ground, and the ornateness, not only is it something that's fathomable for us to have done then, but still in the day and age that we live today, it is unimaginable on most of these structures, the architecture and the ornate abilities, like that facility above me in this photo. I mean, that's an amazing structure for today that would be near impossible to build, no matter what types of amounts of money you threw at it, and the best skilled labor in the world with the best tools and the best power tools and equipment that we have today, the best carving mechanisms. Could we build something like some of these structures in our antiquity? And then you'll find these tall ceilings, and how did they even begin to build something like that with the technology of old? And then the structures just don't meet the narrative, the year or the age that they've put on them, placed on them. And then you could say, well, it took millions of people to labor, but you have to have some sort of skilled labor, and labor that in most of these structures is not available to us in this world, that kind of skill. And then you'll find some of these photos with maybe one person in them, and they look like they're some sort of nemesis from like a superhero movie or something, like some witch or something looking weird individual in the photo, or the people in the photo look like they have blank stares, like if you've ever dealt with a narcissist and seen the deadened stare, like soulless. And the people standing in and around these structures just are disconnected from this reality that they seem to be living in. Like, you can tell that they didn't build the stuff that they're standing around, nor do they have any idea what's going on. Almost as if you were to heavily medicate someone and brainwash them and then put them in a photo next to some structures and tell them they built them. It's kind of as if that. And then the way the facilities are all sunk, and in these photos with not a lot of foliage, meaning like trees or grass, the infrastructure that is available that they're standing on is usually cobblestone or some sort of brick. Very interesting. Thank you for watching.